What's happening? Nicky Hawkins, West Ham Fan TV. Back with my old mate Ryan Archer for West Ham Fan TV. Live and uncut. Sorry for the delay, boys. We've had a few technical problems. Not the first this week. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. Thank you. You? How's the eye?
Getting a bit better. I had a bit of a relapse earlier on in the week, mate. It swelled right up again.
Yeah, it looks a lot better, mate.
Yeah, it is getting a bit better. Not so much of a. It's a bit red still because I keep on still rubbing it. Still a little bit sore, but it's getting a lot better. What have you been up to this week, mate?
Not a lot really, mate. If I'm honest, working.
Reading about West Ham.
Working, sleeping, yeah, and reading, waiting for news to break about West Ham.
Let's start with some positive news because we haven't had any fucking positive news for a long time. Kevin Nolan coming back to the club. What do you think of that?
Yeah, great appointment. I was only saying last night, I'd done a podcast last night on the Three Hammers channel, and we was talking about the backroom staff. It'd be good to get some ex-players in. You know, you've got people like Kevin Nolan out of work, James Collins out of work and logged off. And I see the news that he's going to be joining the coaching staff. And I think it's a great appointment by the club. It definitely give a few of them players a boot up the arse.
Do you know what? He's a good character, Kevin Nolan. I always liked him. I thought he was a good servant for West Ham. He was one of them down to earth, honest players that committed himself to whoever he played for. He's a brilliant player, hard grafter. I was a little bit disappointed the way his career ended at West Ham because I thought he was a bit harshly treated. His legs had gone, but Allardyce kept on picking him, and he just carried on giving it until he just couldn't give it no more, and then he was released. I think it's a good appointment.
Yeah, I think he was a great captain for West Ham, as he knows the club. Obviously, he doesn't really know the new stadium because he never played there for us, but he knows the club. There's probably a few people there that he knows from his time at the club. And as I said, it takes a bit of pressure off of David Moyes as well because he's been sort of doing it on his own. It's only been him and Alan Irvine, and you've also got Paul Nevin coming as well. I don't really know much about him, but I know he was obviously currently with the England squad. Worked for Norwich, worked for Brighton as well under Chris Hughton. So David Moyes has got a few people that he wanted. I know they're only on 6 months contracts, but that probably is standard considering the position we're in.
Jack Darren, hello to everyone in the chat, of course. Says Ryan and Nicky, out of Stuart Pearce or Kevin Nolan, who would you say would be more motivating coach towards the players?
It's difficult, isn't it? Because obviously Stuart Pearce has got so much experience coaching-wise than Kevin Nolan. But for me, look, it didn't work out for Stuart Pearce. I'd like them both in now if they could have them both in now. But at the moment, I think out of the people that are out, well, I know Joe Cole was heavily linked. Maybe that they might look at that again in the summer. And obviously you've got James Collins as well. But for me, Kevin Nolan is a great appointment, and at this current time, I think it's a great choice. I think the fans seem to be on board, and hopefully he can motivate a few of them players in the changing room.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's different styles of management. Stuart Pearce is one of them people you don't want to cross. Kevin Nolan is one of them people that puts their arm around your shoulder and looks after you.
Well, to be fair, mate, I wouldn't want to cross Kevin Nolan as well from some of the stories he's been saying on TalkSport this week. I think he can be just as feisty as what Stuart Pearce was.
Yeah. No, I've got no doubt about that, mate. He's a scouser from a working class background.
And to be fair as well, he was a great captain for us. You know, I heard Big Sam talking this morning on the radio about Kevin Nolan, what he done for the club when he come in. So look, he was a great captain for us. As you said, I felt sorry for him the way he was treated. You know, sort of pushed out the back door after getting subbed off against Bournemouth. And yeah, look, he's had a little stint in management with Notts County and Leyton Orient, so he's got that little bit of experience. But now we've got 15 games left. He can try to help David Moyes turn that around.
Absolutely. I'll take some comments. Matt Gildman says, Ryan, you said you guys were forced by the club to take a video down. Can you give us any more info? I can give you the info on that one, mate. last
I'll
week
let you do that.
we done a video highlighting some of the problems in the press and what was it again? I even forgot what it was.
It was the
for Liverpool and
yeah.
people should be sacked over it, and I named a name. That name was Ben Campbell, and if Ben's watching, I'd like to apologise because it's been brought to my attention that Ben Campbell isn't the one responsible for getting all of this stuff printed. We got an anonymous phone call. I know it was, but I'm not going to say who it was because I don't want to start a rumour mill and all that thing. Saying the club were looking at it and looking to possible sort of legal action against it. So look at it again, see what you said. I passed it on to a solicitor, and he said that something I said in there was libelous, could be, as libelous. Now I've got no confirmation that the club or anyone was going to take legal action. I never heard anything from a club, but it was a well-placed person close to the club, and he said it was a friendly warning. Now I'm not in the business of, if the club brings me up because they don't like something, I'm going to take it down. It was literally for legal reasons. If it weren't for legal reasons, if it wasn't going to be a court case or legal proceedings or a letter from a solicitor coming, I would never take anything down. But I don't want to get me into trouble, and I don't want to get you into trouble for the investigation. That's all.
I was going to say, if we didn't name no names, then we would have just left it up. But we've obviously named someone, and it's easier to take it down than just worry about the egg.
A small part of it was libelous. My thoughts stay the same. Whoever is responsible for it, I've been given a few names, but I'm not going to fucking go down that road again because we'll have another letter on coming through the door. But they've told me who's responsible. My thoughts stay the same. Whoever's responsible for it shouldn't be in a fucking job. It's a disgrace by the club. It's a disgrace by whoever it was, but apparently it weren't that Ben Campbell. So I'm sorry to Ben. But all my thoughts in the video, if you watched the video last week, they're all exactly the same. It's just it wasn't Ben.
Sorry, Ben.
Well, not that sorry because he's still banning people, even though he said it wasn't him. Anyway, let's crack on.
You can't just leave it, can you?
No, I'm just saying, I'm not. I'm not in the business of taking videos down. I was disappointed last week that we had to take it down. I'm just saying, people saying he's not responsible for this, he's not responsible for that. He did pass the message on. That's all I'm saying to, fan channels and fan media, saying that they can't be part of this and they can't be part of that. Whatever.
Yeah.
My thoughts still stay the same. Danny the Unicorn says, have you heard about the rumours of another protest happening at the Liverpool game? Yes, I have.
Yeah, I think it's widely. People have been talking about it on social media since the last protest. I think there's two separate ones now in there. There's the Hammers United protest, and then there's the other one, the GSB out group. So I think there's two different protests planned for today, for the 29th, sorry. So, yeah.
John Fruscatani. I'm guessing at that name, mate. I can't say. It says guest appearance on the Free Hammers, Ryan. Great guest appearance on the Free Hammers.
Thank you, mate. They want you on there next, Nick. So you better sort yourself out, mate, when you get a bit of time.
Busy boy, aren't I? You know what I mean? What's the next? I can't even remember what I titled the video.
It's the takeover bid, wasn't it?
Takeover bid. That's it. Rumours have come along this week that people, and it has been sort of half confirmed by some in the knows, saying people are actually looking to take over the club.
Yeah, by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salam.
Now, I'm not saying too much about this man.
I hope if he does take over, I hope it don't go sour, because I wouldn't want to fancy putting them initials on a shirt. CPMBS out. But no, look, there's rumours now with everything that's going on with the board and the protesters. But this is the bloke that apparently wanted to take over Newcastle a few weeks ago, and now he wants. I love that comment. Now he's interested in taking over at West Ham. Along with, you've also got Red Bull that are interested as well. But it'd be massive if there was a takeover bid. If something did happen in the next,
I'm not going to say too much, but out of the two, I would prefer Red Bull. That's the
why
one.
is that because they give us wings and we can fly up the table?
No, it's nothing to do with the company, nothing to do with that. If I had a choice between the two, it would be Red Bull. It was just
But then you don't want to go down the route of them rebranding us, calling us Red Bull, West Ham, and all things like that. I know because they've done it with the other clubs that they own, didn't they?
it's just that as I said, I don't want to say too much, but there's the guy has got a bit of a sordid past. Let me just say that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google his name and you'll see what it is, and with journalists and all that. And I'll be honest with you, mate. If he'd come in charge, I wouldn't want to say too much against him. That's all I'm going to say.
That's all right, as long as he spends billions.
Ben says we've already been rebranded since the move. That's a good point, Ben. Actually,
yeah, we've already been rebranded, but we're still West Ham, aren't we? We're still West Ham United. You don't want to be called Red. They could change us to Red Bull Stratford for all we know.
I don't think they'd be able to change the name. There's big rules in the.
If they come in and name the stadium the Red Bull Stadium, that wouldn't bother me. But look, either one of them, as long as someone's willing to help take this club forward, take it out of the hands of the owners now, move us forward, bring in big players, and pump money into the club, then I'm all for it. But this is West Ham, it's not going to happen to us. We're going to end up, we had a billionaire that went bust last time we had him.
Gary Pace says they will 100% still for 500 million now. Have had enough. It's working. Now, there's been stuff all over the press this week. The press are really turning against them, mate. And it's not, it's not, it's not good reading for them, is it, at the moment? You know what I mean? Open any paper and all of a sudden, the press has gone from sort of like supporting them 2 weeks ago to absolutely turning against them, apart from their little cronies and stuff.
I was going to say, I think you find that the media that have been digging at West Ham fans for the last couple of years are now starting to realise, and some of them are starting to dig more into the club and look at the situation that we've been seeing for the last couple of years. And as you said, you're going to have your Jim Whites and the Moose or whatever, you're going to have them sort of people always going to stick up for the ball and not say a bad word against them.
Yeah, but as I said, it's not good reading at the minute. Do you think, obviously there's some meeting going on in the next few weeks or whatever, do you think they might have had enough? Do you think they might be losing their passion for it or whatever?
Well, what I get from the meeting that they've called is they're going to try to build bridges, but they're doing it with the wrong people. They're doing it with the supporters board and Pride of Irons, all groups that are obviously involved with the club already. Why not do it with? I know they've offered Hammers United and Woosa the opportunity to meet with them, and they've both turned it down, which is great. I think it's the best thing that they could do. I really do, because you know what's going to happen. Because the meeting's a few days before the next protest, so they're just going to get them in there, and they're just going to try to get them to stop the protest. But now they've told them no. They're going to be panicking even more, and it's a good situation to be in for the people that are organising it.
Well, I think the line of dialogue is between Hammers United and the club is that they want to have a chat with them and then meet them, not sort of, because they've been invited to the OSB, which people are very much against. It's an undemocratic thing that the ball shows and all that sort of nonsense. And they've been invited to that, and they've turned down that, and so have Wilson. They've turned it down as well because they don't believe that they should be involved. It should be a democratically elected thing. So, when they're sort of saying, "Well, come along and have a chat with us," by the way, you're going to have to go. They might as well be on the OSB, and I think that's, I think that the two protest groups are seeing sort of through that sort of thing and saying, "Well, no, because there's no difference to being on the OSB." I tweeted earlier on when they said about it. I said, "Well, am I invited?" Because I'd love 10 minutes in there.
Yeah, but what's the point? We've been to meetings before, mate. What's the point of putting ourselves into that again? Let these people do it. You can they're all gonna. Them people going in that meeting, they're just going to sit. They're handpicked questions. They've already said that. You know, why won't Golden, Sullivan, Brady just meet Hammers United on their own? And
Because
Woosa, whoever's running it.
as you say, they're handpicking the questions. It's all sort of like, we know what it is, right? It's lip service. It's yeah, all right. You know, we'll meet you. They'll get in the room. They'll sit in the room. They won't be able to ask any difficult questions, and they'll be handpicking people. Do you want to ask a question? Do you want to ask a question? And it'll all be, are we going to get ashtrays outside because I'm sick of people flicking their ash on the floor, or can we vape in the toilets and things like that? You know, and then when it comes down to the cold hard questions. Somebody from the OSB, I met somebody from the OSB in the CAF before the Leicester game, and he told me, Ryan, they're not allowed to talk about football. You know what I mean? You know, that's at the end of the day, that's what the protests are coming down to. It's the lack of investment into the club, and they can sit there and turn around and say, you know, with that Sky apology and all that sort of nonsense, this Sky Sports apology this week, with you know, them having to say this on Sunday. I think that's a disgrace. The thing is, I think they're so ignorant and they're so sort of detached from everything that's going on. They're just digging themselves a hole. You know, these things like by making him say sorry, they're just highlighting the problems. You know,
and sorry.
This is it, isn't it?
No, they should have just kept quiet, mate. They should have just kept quiet, and because they're making things 10 times worse. But for us and the people that want them out, it's they're starting to play into our hands now.
Yeah, exactly. It's you know, they're getting met. You know, I think their old tricks of like say this, say that, and you know, pay someone lip service here, or meet someone here, or meet someone there, and it'll shut them up for 10. You know, another year. I think they've run out of options now. I think it's time that they, you know, if they really want to, you know, get any credibility back. To be honest with you, I think it's gone. It's gone. I think the relationship soured too much. You know, you can't just keep on lying and expect everyone to just, you know, to believe your bollocks all the time. They've got away with it for 10 years, and you know, it's not working anymore. And I think they're running out of time. And I think that's what happened at Birmingham. You know, but it is what it is anyway. Long dark tunnel says time they effed off.
I agree.
Stevie Warboys, one way the owners can get can get people off their backs is by being totally and brutally honest. No smoke and mirrors anymore. It's the only way to start repair the damage they've done.
If they would have done that 3 or 4 years ago, mate, people might have had a little bit more respect for them, but they haven't. They cover themselves with lies, more lies, and more lies, and that's what I mean. I heard on this morning in an interview that people were saying about, it's only the stadium that's the problem. If West Ham were winning, no one would talk about the stadium. Yeah, look, the stadium is a massive problem, but it's not always about the stadium. It's not only about the stadium. It's the lies and the promises and the the lack of investment. I know they back Pellegrini, but come on. The money they're generating at that football club, 100 million's nothing really.
It's 190 million they turn over per year, and they have done since they sort of got to the Olympic Stadium. Obviously, the TV money helps them a little bit more. The thing is with it, it's one of them things where, you know, you have to, as I say, if you are serious as a football club owner, you invest more money. You know, they've been taking money out for 10 years in interest. They've left their money in now. You know, they're going to get it out eventually. But they, you know, to really push on, you know, do you think Roman Abramovich come in when he took over Chelsea and turned around and went, well, yeah, we'll sign all these players, but we'll just do it on the money that the club generate? No, you had to put money in first to build the team, to build the status of the team and all that. And that's what they haven't done. Like when you look at the you know, when you look at the finances, they put in 30 million quid for working capital, as I said. They took on debts of 40 odd million, which was what we still owe to Sheffield United and for some transfers. And they bought the club for 50 million. They've really only lent the club 70 million, and they've taken about 30 out. And that's without their 70 million back. They've never really invested into the team. You know, they've never put their own money in there. And that's what you've got to do to be successful. You know, I do understand when they turn around and say, you know, we want it to be a self-running club. We want it to be self-sufficient and all that. That's all well and good. That's all well and good that you want it to be self-sufficient. But self-sufficiency comes with success. It's getting into the Champions League. It's challenging for Europe. It's having cup runs and things like that. Attracting more players to grow commercially. They're fucking opening coffee shops before they've won a fucking football game at the stadium. Do you know what I mean? Like that's where you've got. That's how you grow a brand. That's how Man United done it all them years ago. Is they got some sort of success, you know, and that takes investment, and they ain't got the bollocks to invest in it.
No, I mean, the season they really should have started investing was the first at the London Stadium when we come off the back of that great season at the Bowling. You had some good play. You had a world-class player there in Dimitri Payet, but you had a decent squad. Then they should have added to that and built on it and give Slaven Bilic money to spend, but they didn't. They tried to just get through that first season. Payet fucked off. And then look, since then, we've just gone backwards.
Yeah, we just needed to add to it. Why it's like first season, you get in there, invest the 100 million, take the loss, whatever. Then the next season, doing that, you know, go out to get Lacazette or whoever they thought it was, who you know was going to be the marquee signing and all that. You know, the next season do the same. The next season do the same until you've got 5 or 6 sort of world class signings there. And then you can start thinking about making it self-sufficient. And then you can start to sort of getting your money back and all that. No way. No way. Who the fuck's writing this?
I don't know. I think someone's done a fake account, didn't they?
Well, I'm going to shave my beard. I'm going to shave my beard next week. Thank you very much.
Go on.
VNG Trick says, we're going down, we're going down, we're going down, we're going down, we're going down. Do you honestly think we'll go down?
No. I think we'll stay up, but I think it'll be very tight. Very, very tight. I mean, I look at the fixtures of the other clubs. I had them here in front of me a minute ago. You look at the teams they've got to play as well. I mean, people are saying that we've got a hard run. I mean, they've got Norwich have got to play Liverpool, Spurs, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City. Watford have got similar games. I mean, Watford's last 3 games are West Ham away, Man City at home, and Arsenal away. And then Bournemouth have got. So we're not the only one. Once we've got 2 tough games coming up, I know that. We've got obviously City and Liverpool, but then you look at the other games after that. I mean, I think out of our last 6 or 7 games, we play teams around us. So I think it's in our hands. It's just we just need to start turning up. We need our big players to start turning up and start putting in performances. And we need to start picking up points as soon as possible. It'd be lovely to pick up points this Sunday. It's going to be very difficult. And then obviously we go to Anfield. So we need to hope that once we get through them 2 games, the teams around us haven't picked up that many points.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? But I was convinced we was going to go down. Then I started to look at the other fixtures and you know, like Villa have got a fucking really tough run. Bournemouth have got a really tough run.
I mean, you look at Brighton. They've still got to play Arsenal, Liverpool, City. You know, everyone's got to play these sort of teams. Yeah. You know, Bournemouth's last 3 games: Man City away, Southampton at home, Everton away. So everyone's got difficult games. But you know, one of these teams, and hopefully it's us, will pick up a good run and pick up points during them games.
Ben, they hate being embarrassed in front of the media. That's why they've banned the flag wave. But we'll get onto that in a second, mate. JP, WHTV. Nicky, are we still okay for next week? What next week? You haven't said anything to me.
Are you going out for a meal with him, you?
No?
Yeah, JP, WHUTV at TGI.
Is it?
Yeah, you promised him.
Oh, I don't remember that.
He said rack up the ribs.
Problem is, we play Liverpool now. Watford played them once. The title has won.
That I don't think that matters.
I don't know.
think they want to go unbeaten.
Yeah, I don't think that matters either. To be quite honest with you, I think they're.
Here's a quick question for you, and that's just going off subject, right? Liverpool win the league, right? Say they go unbeaten as well, or they lose one game, but they win the league. City have had a shit season, but they win the Champions League, the FA Cup, the League Cup. Who's had the better season?
You got to say City.
Yeah, exactly. And City have been absolutely poor this season. So everyone's banging on about Liverpool and how great they are. Don't get me wrong, they are having a fantastic season, but City could go still win 3 trophies.
The thing is that they've wanted the league for a long time. Liverpool, I think it's they've won every other trophy since they've last won it, like Champions League, UEFA Cups, fucking League Cups, FA Cups, and all that. They just want the lead. They want to get that hoodoo off of their back.
But I think it's the same for City, isn't it? They want the Champions League. That's what they're craving.
But that's a hard trophy to win, and it comes with experience. You know what I mean? Like Liverpool have got a lot of experience in that sort of thing. Like the club's set up for that. Let's not be fucking beat around the bush. They're like European royalty, Liverpool. I mean, you don't win the Champions League 6 times by accident. The whole club knows what it's doing when it comes to them nights. Man City have got to learn them things. You know what I mean? And the thing is, I respect the way Liverpool play. It's as simple as that. But
there's no doubting, mate. They're the best team in the world at the moment. But when you look at it, I mean, I didn't really think about it. I thought you look at City, they're 22 points behind now. It could be a bigger gap by the time the season's finished. But then they could still end up winning 3 trophies, and that's not a bad season, is it? They won 3 last year.
I don't agree with what he's just done, Klopp.
No, I agree with maybe resting some of the players, but him not being there, I don't agree with that. I'm with you on that.
Being there and playing the old kids, it could have, they got through, which which is a mad thing. Listen, right, hold on. If you've been here, right, we've been doing this for months and months and months and months and months, right? There is a fucking dead pixel right there, yeah? If you ain't worked that out by now, fuck me, what do you want me to do? Yeah, I know you think it's a smudge. It's a fucking dead pixel. It's been there for ages. But, just saying that, this might be the last week it's here, actually.
Oh, I ain't having that.
My mate Scott sorted me out with saying, actually, so...
Have you got a matching pixel to go on the other side?
The sound on post-match pint was fucking shit.
I couldn't hear it.
Exactly. It was shit. The thing is, I'm looking at different options this week. We ain't got a game after City, so I've got a couple of weeks. So I'm going to look at different options at doing the sound. Somebody said to me the other day, the sound's been, bad for way too long. And it's not that. It's just that we keep on like changing venues and things like that, and it's different challenges. You know what I mean? So we will get it right. We will get it right. It's just we've just moved in now. We're having a thingy. Somebody said it was too poncy. They said we're hypocrites because you're saying about corporate culture and all of that, and fucking all of a sudden we've got salmon on the table, and they say we're hypocrites. I get the ball out a couple of times. Where's he gone?
What happened there?
Don't know.
That's Ben Campbell. That is. I'm joking, Ben. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a bit of salmon. But
people calling us hypocrites because we've got a bit of salmon on the table. Someone bought us more beers. Thing is, when we used to be in the old fucking shitty place with fucking tins of beers, yeah, I say shitty place. I love that place, but
people used to moan that we not only used to have 1 pint.
Exactly. They've got a guy bringing us out. He bought fucking shitloads of pints out the other day.
I weren't there. Gutted.
We're too upmarket. We're hypocrites. Game right. You'll be surprised how good a clip-on mic sounds. Funny you should say that because we all have clip-on mics on. It's Dan. I don't know what Dan is doing with the.
Well, when I clip my mic on, I plug it into my phone and record on my phone. I've never had a problem with my one before. So
I had his one. Thingy had his one. The problem with the microphone was mine, right? and I don't know what he's done there. He forgot his camera, so we had to film it on a phone. And
on a Polaroid.
yeah, but he said it was picking it up, and then we had the similar problem last week when we was doing it like that. So I don't know what happened. I don't know what the fuck he's doing with the editing and all that. Maybe I should just edit it myself. But yeah, it's exactly. I had a proper wireless setup going straight to the camera, and for some reason, when he's edited it, mine was off. So he's obviously taking the sound from mine, or it's coming through the phone. That's why you got a lot of reverb noise from the background and all that. But we are sat down. Yeah, exactly. We are working on it. I'm gonna personally make sure it's properly. Another few things people have said, and I'm gonna take this as a pinch of salt. Well, I'm not going to take it as a pinch of salt because people reckon that I don't let anyone talk on post-match pint and I'm always interrupting people and all of that. What do you think about that, right?
I don't know. I can't get a word in. No, look, I've said it before. I think it adds to. I know some people would like us to have sort of match of the day set up where you talk, I talk, Scott talks, Dan talks, but we started this as a pub talk thing, and people do it in pubs all the time. They talk over each other, and we have got better. We used to be a lot worse at doing it. I think sometimes when you're in the heat of the moment, you're trying to get something out, and someone's trying to jump in. Everyone like, you know what I mean, like, but it is what it is. I mean, we could try to do like a match of the day set up, but I tell you what, it'd be a lot boring. I love it when everyone's trying to talk, and I've got me and Scott trying not to laugh when you're arguing with Dan, and yeah, it's all part of it. It's all part of post-match pint.
For anyone that has complained about that, I will try to be more diplomatic, but I can't promise you because I've always been like it. You look back from the first shows. It's not that I don't want him to have a say. It's most of the time they try and say something when I'm halfway through saying something. And I know that I go on and on and on and on and on. But sometimes, like, if you look at me at the beginning of post-match pints, man, sometimes I want to fucking just smash the table in half or smash a pint on the floor because I'm that frustrated. So when I'm talking and then people trying to jump in over me or they start talking before I'm finished talking, yeah, I just get a little bit frustrated. Right, let's go on to our last subject, the ban. We'd see that some cheeky little scrote of a flag waver was on a. He's now been banned from the stadium for wearing a GSB out T-shirt. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is another thing that the club should have ignored. They should have ignored. It's not worth a ban. I mean, I can understand if they have a little word, say, look, don't do it, something like that again. But to ban someone, a fan that goes home and away for doing that, just having a little cheeky little joke, little dig at the owners, I don't think it's no way worth a ban. I mean, you look, he's been banned for the rest of the season. I know he's going to appeal it. But yeah, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, but he got his message across.
Yeah, he got his message across, and look, he's been in. If the club would have kept it quiet, he's been in all the newspapers. I listened to him on TalkSport yesterday. The word's getting round, so he spread it even more. So the owner should have just kept quiet. That someone from the club could have phoned them up and said, "Look, don't be cheeky again next time, because next time we might have to take it a little bit further." But to ban someone over that is absolutely ridiculous. Honestly, I couldn't believe it when. Well, do you know what? I could believe it when I see it.
It's a little bit cheeky, though. That's all.
Yeah, of course it is, and it's one of them ones, isn't it? It's not anything. It's not a racist thing or a homophobic thing. It's not nothing like that. It's just a simple message, GSB out. I mean, what if 60,000 people turn up to the stadium wearing them next week? They're going to ban us all? They're not. So I think they should have just obviously little warning. Don't do it again.
It's probably a reaction because they're embarrassed.
They're embarrassed because someone has managed to. he's managed to get in. As he said yesterday, he's well known to the owners. I think they had the incident a couple of years ago with a flag outside their house. So they're well known to the club. So yeah, it's ridiculous though. But football's a funny game. You know, I mean, I couldn't believe what I see earlier. I mean, everyone would have seen that Newcastle fan who over celebrated the other day. Did you see it?
Oh, he's Willie out.
Yeah, but he got banned for life from football stadiums. Banned for life. Now, a fan earlier got banned for 4 years for doing a racist chant at Tommy Abrahams.
Well,
you tell me where the justice is in that.
Okay.
A drunk geezer who's look, he's got excited, over celebrated, you know, to be banned from football for life for that.
He pulled his dick out though, man.
Yeah, I know that. But do you
like? Don't get me wrong. The racist geezer banned that cunt for life as well. We should never be allowed near fucking society, let alone a football stadium. But I'll be honest with you, right? I'm gonna stick up for the FA on this one, and I don't understand what you're saying. But if my kids were there and the cunt's waving his fucking dick around, I'd be furious.
I agree, mate. I agree, but don't treat racism as the you shouldn't even treat it as the same. Yeah. It should be treated even worse.
Yeah, exactly.
It was I mean, the Newcastle. I mean, I see it live on telly, and I couldn't believe it. I mean, yeah, you're right. There could have been kids there. There could have been women there. People would take offence to that, and but to ban him from life from all football stadiums, but then you get I think it was a Bournemouth fan. Was it Bournemouth or Wolves? It might have been a Wolves fan that got banned for 4 years for racist doing monkey chants at Tommy Abraham. Come on.
Yeah, well, that's just the FA not taking that seriously enough. Ian Wilkins, Nicky, can you find someone after matches on fan cams who think we still have a chance of staying up? Listen, mate, I can find someone to do anything for you, but I'm not a fucking miracle worker. I'm not Jesus Christ. Jake Abrams, it's frustrating because as fans we can do nothing to fix these problems.
No, all we can do as fans is
hold on. JPWHUTV. Is this JPWHUTV? I'm going to check his profile in a minute because I've heard there's a moody one going around. I'm not ignoring you, mate. I haven't seen anything from you. Yeah. Anyway, Jake, it's frustrating because as fans we can't do anything to fix the problems.
Yeah, as fans, I mean, look, all we can do is turn up week in, week out as we do and get behind the team. We can make our voices heard against the board, obviously with protests and that, but that's the only thing we can do as fans, really.
JP is fake. He said, yeah, I thought he was. I'm going to ban him. I hope he is fake and he's not the real one.
No, don't. Poor old JP.
I'm going to ban him anyway because I have heard there's a moody one going around causing all sorts of...
Why would you do a fake account of JPWHUTV?
Fuck knows. I don't know. Jack Simster says, Nicky, how's your ride now? It's getting better, mate. Thank you very much. Station to station, 356 miles. Yeah, I heard that. I don't know what Miles has heard. Nicky, can you try and go on TalkSport and give Jim White some facts? I've tried. They don't have me on. They won't. I had the other day, I tried to ring them up and after the Moose stuff, tried to give them some cold hard facts, and they couldn't find time for me, but they found time for Ben the Portsmouth fan. Thomas Longergan says, it's not true that we can't do anything. These protests are definitely getting to the board.
Oh yeah, of course they are. Look, I'm not saying that, but look, if the board sell, yeah, all right, there might be a little bit because of the fans, but I think they're doing it obviously for their own financial benefits. They could stay here for another 5 years if they wanted to.
Yeah.
But if they do sell the club, but yeah, of course. Look, as I said that all we can do as fans is get behind the team and do the protests. That's what I said.
Jamie Steele, Nicky, prediction for the next 5 games. Why are you asking me? Why don't you ask Ryan as well? Nicky, prediction for the next 5 games. How many points do you think we can get realistically? Look, football's football, man.
I mean, our next 5 fixtures are City, Liverpool, Southampton at home, and then is it Arsenal and Wolves? I think that's right.
Well,
I might be wrong now.
we could beat Arsenal. We could beat Wolves. I think the other two are a stretch, to be honest with you. How many do I think we'll get? 5? 6?
Yeah.
I don't know, but they're realistically the first 2 games are out of. But you don't know. You just don't know in football. You know, we could turn up at Man City. Norwich have beat them this season. Norwich are by far, the worst team in the league this year. But Norwich have beaten Manchester City when we got fucking smashed by them 5-0. You know.
We've got 5 minutes left. I mean, we could talk. You can talk a little bit about the City game if you want.
Yeah, if you want.
I mean, it's going to be difficult, mate. I mean, they've got so much talent in that team. They've got players that can kill us off in the first 5-10 minutes. Aguero, De Bruyne, Silva, Sterling. You know, they're going to be a tough team, but their defence, we can get at them. I mean, I think I've been trying to sit there all day, think how would we set up against City, and I could really see him playing 3 at the back, maybe bringing Balbuena back in, Diop, Ogbonna, Fredericks on the right, Creswell on the left, midfield of Rice and Souček, and then I'd start Haller up top with Antonio and Bowen, chuck him straight in. Try to have a little go at them.
Don't try and do some sort of moody 5 at the back shit, because that just don't work.
Well, no, that's what I was going to say. I mean, the 3 at the back obviously will shore it up a bit, make it a little bit stronger. But then I look at Balbuena's performance against West Brom, and he was absolutely dog shit. I mean, there are rumours that Anderson might even be back for Sunday, but he'd only be on the bench. So for me, and you notice there, I didn't even mention Noble there. I've dropped Noble because I play Souček and Rice in there just to make it a bit stronger in there. Souček looked like he's got legs on him. He can get forward and bust his gut to get back when we need him. I'd chuck Bowen in there. There's no point bringing him on when we're like 3-0 down with 10 minutes to go. Start him. Yeah. Just get him in there. Imagine him to think 2 weeks ago he's playing in the Championship, probably away at, I don't know, Barnsley or something like that. And now he's starting at the Etihad against Manchester City, champions of England, as it stands. He want to. As soon as he gets that ball, he's going to want to do something. He's going to make something happen.
Yeah, I would start him as well. He's a big money signing, someone that we needed. Miles Avery says, "Have you heard that the club are going to build a new stand closer to the pitch and square off the edges for next season?"
Yes, it's not a new stand. It's just they're just squaring off. Squaring it off, isn't they? Which is
still not close enough.
Still not close enough. But them people at the front are just going to get wet because the roof ain't going to cover them.
Yeah, not close enough for my money. If they bring it forward anymore, then the fucking gaps between the back and the front are going to be fucking ridiculous. Like, you won't be able to do anything. So you can't do anything with that stadium unless you rip the guts out of it. Unfortunately. Ben, I know you've been asking us this all day. Protest, will you be there? I'm not going to say. You might see me, you might not. Doesn't matter if I'm there or not. I'm only one more person.
I'll be there. I was there last time.
I'm trying to be diplomatic, way. You know what I mean? I was trying to be like
cut that bit. We'll edit that bit out. We're not live.
We'll both be there. We were both there last time. Mark Sherburn, Brown, Ryan. I sit at the front, and when it rains, we get wet anyway.
Yeah, well, no, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. There's not. That's what I'm saying. It's not going to make much difference, really, is it? It's just going to make it. It's going to square it off. It's actually going to look worse, I think, because it's going to be round on the sides and square behind the goals. I don't know.
It is what it is, I'm afraid. Any last thoughts before we wrap up?
It's like Jerry Springer. Final thoughts. No. I mean, that's it, mate.
Wait. Look at this comment.
Bloody hell.
Oh, mate, fucking hell, like, chill out. That was 13 years ago.
That's long. I don't think YouTube was around then.
Any last thoughts?
No, mate. I mean, we've covered most of it. Obviously, Kevin Nolan back at the club now. Great appointment. Looking forward to seeing him get stuck in. And then obviously, Man City on Sunday. I mean, my heart thinks we can get something. My head thinks like it could be a 3 or 4-0. But I'm going to stick to what I said last night. I think we're going to get a 1-1 draw up there.
Okay. I think we'll lose, but I don't think it's going to be as bad as we all think.
Well, last season we went up there and we give a spirited performance, and we only lost 1-0 with I think it was an Aguero penalty, wasn't it? Ben Johnson's debut.
Right. I'm going to say this now. Yeah. You touched on it a bit earlier. The league's gone for Man City now. 22 points is too much. It's too much. Far too many. Like 13 games left. 13 games left. 22 points. You know, the league's gone. They've got Champions League games coming up very soon. They've got FA Cup game coming up very soon.
Division rivals.
They've got a cup final.
Yeah, they've got the League Cup final.
League Cup final coming up very soon. Their mind, like
you look at their back four.
I'm clasping at straws here. Jamie, can you go away, please? I'm clasping at straws here, but their mind just might be off of it. It might not be there, you know.
I mean, Zinchenko's obviously going to be suspended because he got sent off against Spurs, but you know, Otamendi and Fernandinho at the back.
I think that might be a bad thing, to be quite honest.
Yeah, you know, look, they got talent all around the team. If you're going to beat a City, you got to catch them on an off day, and we need to be playing at 110% from start to finish, because I think they had I don't even know how many chances they had against Spurs last week, but they didn't score. So we need Fabianski to have a Rob Green moment like we did when we won at the Emirates that year, when we won 1-0, and everything just Fabianski just saves everything, and we nick a little something. But Sterling's out, mate. That's a massive bonus. I know they can replace him with another world-class player, but Sterling always plays well against us.
Absolutely. Okay, we're going to leave it there, guys. Thank you so much for joining us in the chat. Thank you very much for everyone that contributed today. Sorry if we didn't get to your comments. It is difficult. You know, when I'm looking at the chat log, it's just, you know, I've only got a few on my screen at a time, so it's going through. So I have to try and just pick them out when I see them. I don't always see them. You know, it's not a lot of live feed. It sort of refreshes every 5 seconds. So please, if I've left your comment out at any point, I'm not trying to ignore anyone. I just haven't seen it. But thank you very much for joining us. Check out the preview out for Man City that'll be out tomorrow. Check out all the other content that we do around a Man City game. And one thing left to say, Ryan.
Come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons.
Good night.